Hello, 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 small one. I donate some blood today. Yay!
Does scrubbing feel like a workout? Scrub less with Dawn Platinum. Its superior formula breaks down and removes up to 99% of tough grease and food residue faster. So you scrub.
I don't know what's up with the Wi-Fi stuff. Take forever to load up.
In 2020, we watched Ellen DeGeneres' career take a serious nosedive. It almost seemed like every week there was some new backlash being thrown her way, and nothing was getting better for her.
I don't see. Oh, okay.
Because of the scrutiny that she faced last year, her career hasn't been the same and it affected her show a lot. Because of poor ratings and dwindling support, Ellen has made the decision to end her show's run, and though she says that it is a personal decision, we all know that her 2020 cancellation is mostly to blame. In light of the end of The Ellen Show, let's count down the top 10 reasons why Ellen DeGeneres was canceled. At number 10, toxic workplace. Allegations of a toxic work environment was the scandal that really started. It all. There had been some buzz surrounding how Ellen treats others, whether that be guests on her show or employees, but things really started to pick up when real people started coming forward about how they were being treated while working at The Ellen Show. A number of former employees came forward to expose Ellen for being a horrible boss. Some people brought up how she would use racial microaggressions and how she would pick on each one of her employees. After Ben Simon came forward with 6 stories about Ellen that shows the world just how mean she really is and how disrespectful she is to her staff. Benjamin tweeted out about how Ellen reportedly has a quote sensitive nose and requires everyone to chew gum before talking to her, and will also order people to go home and shower if she doesn't like the way you smell. He also added that Ellen would make a point of taking on a different employee every day, and that when she's in a bad mood, she gets staff members to come to her office and forces them to do comedy bits for her to cheer her up by laughing at them. Benjamin also said that if Ellen doesn't like the monologue that someone wrote for her that day, she will throw it on the floor, refusing to do it. These and countless other stories revealed to the public just how toxic things are over at The Ellen Show, and this first scandal marks the beginning of the comedian's downfall. At number 9, quarantine comments. In April last year, when everyone was stuck inside during the world's first COVID lockdown, a lot of people started working from home, including Ellen DeGeneres. The Ellen Show was being broadcast from her home, and on April 6th, during her opening monologue, Ellen made some comments about her quarantine experience that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. During the episode, Ellen compared her experience of staying in her home to being in jail, saying, quote, "One thing I've learned from being in quarantine is that this is like being in jail. It is what it is. It's mostly because I've been wearing the same clothes for 10 days and everyone here is gay." These comments were not taken very well by the public, and the comedian faced a lot of backlash for comparing her experience of quarantining in her California mansion to living in incarceration, where COVID infections are already incredibly high. Her comments were seen as offensive to those currently living in incarceration because their lives are more greatly at risk because of the infection rates, and a lot of people interpreted her monologue as making fun of those who aren't as privileged to be living in a mansion like she is. At number 8, Hollywood mean streak. After Ellen was exposed for her toxic workplace environment, people started coming forward with their horror stories of the comedian. At first, former employees were jumping on the Ellen is over party trend, but soon some celebrities started commenting on their experiences with Ellen, and a lot of them reminded the public that Ellen's bad attitude isn't anything new. For years, celebrities have known about Ellen's Hollywood mean streak, and some of them have come forward to expose her. Fellow comedian Kathy Griffin has been very outspoken about Ellen's mean streak and even wrote about it in her book, Kathy Griffin's Celebrity Run-Ins, My A to Z Index. In her book, she dished about some awful run-ins that she's had with Ellen, detailing some of the mean things she's done to her. she wrote, quote, I can't prove it, but this person who has short blonde hair has a mean streak that all of Hollywood knows about. But it's not just Kathy who says Ellen's mean streak has been common knowledge, as comedian Brad Garrett also chimed in to speak his truth about who Ellen really is behind the scenes. After Ellen issued an apology to her staff members, which we will talk about later, some people weren't buying into this declaration, including Brad Garrett. In response to Ellen's apology, he tweeted saying, quote, sorry, but it comes from the top, at The Ellen Show. No more than one were treated horribly by her. Common knowledge. Maybe he was speaking from experience having worked in the same industry as her, or because he had been a guest on her show a few times in the mid-2000s. The fact that he and Kathy, as well as a few other celebrities, called Ellen's mean streak common knowledge really helped prove that it's not just her employees who've had bad experiences with her. At number 7, lockdown layoffs. During the first lockdown the world experienced last spring, there were a lot of changes in many workplaces. Some people were transitioning to working from home, and many others sadly lost their jobs. This was a very uncertain time for a lot of people, including many Ellen Show employees, because of a huge lack in communication. Shortly after the show made their transition from the studio to home, news came out reporting about how Ellen Show employees had been replaced by non-union workers in order to cut down on the cost of paying their other employees. As a result, a lot of employees were left in the dark and without pay for a few weeks, which just angered more people and made Ellen look worse. At this point, she was not only experiencing backlash for being a bully towards her employees, but also for causing layoffs as well as pay deductions. At number 6, racial injustice tweet. At the height of the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020, many celebrities were coming forward to talk about the racial injustices many black people around the world have been facing. Some of them tweeted about it, others went to protest, but overall, most of them tried to do their part by spreading awareness. Ellen tried to do this, but it didn't go over very well, as many people thought she missed the mark with her BLM tweet. In her later deleted tweet about racial injustice, Ellen said, quote, like so many of you, I am angry, I am sad. People of color in this country have faced injustice for far too long. For things to change, we must change. We must commit ourselves to this change with conviction and
So
love.
close.
A lot of
Damn
people
it.
didn't like how she used the term
Seriously?
people of color instead of just saying black people, as the movement was surrounding the racism that black people have endured and continue to endure. After deleting the post, Ellen corrected herself by issuing another tweet showing her support for the Black Lives Matter protest and also pledging to donate to a handful of charities and organizations. At number 5,
Try new Olay Retinol Body. Wash. Infused with skincare super ingredient retinol. Dos veces el poder espumoso significa dos veces el gozo. Nuevo Game, platos super limpios, aromas super ricos.
One or other.
privilege. While people were still discussing how Ellen was really behind the scenes, the theme of privilege came up and a lot of people called her out for it. After her tone-deaf joke about comparing life in quarantine to life in incarceration, people kept looking for more examples of how she lived such a privileged life. And one person came forward with an example that shocked a lot of people. Back in May last year, a former Ellen Show producer spoke out about how Ellen once called Steve Jobs personally to complain about the font size on the iPhone. This came after Ellen lost her glasses and was having trouble reading the text on her phone. The former producer recalls the incident saying, quote, she stopped everything and made a call. Next thing we know, we literally hear Steve Jobs pick up and say, hi, Ellen. Ellen told him the iPhone should have bigger font. He continues saying, quote, "That's her. It's not that she's some demon. She just lives in an incredibly privileged bubble and is out of touch with the real world." At number 4, apology fail. Following all the backlash that she'd been receiving, when The Ellen Show made its return after a quarantine hiatus, Ellen had to make amends for her actions and had to address some of the allegations against her, like misconduct and workplace toxicity. During her opening monologue,
It does. She
issued
knows
an
that.
apology for the things that
If
she
you're listening, I want to listen to Top 10 Wishing Alan
During her apology, Ellen
Casey.
admitted that she was,
Hold on a
quote,
second.
a work in
Was
progress,
cancelled.
and that she wasn't aware of the negativity in her workplace. Ellen also joked that she isn't a good enough actress to, quote, "come out here every day for 17 years and fool you." People didn't like how she mostly deflected and made jokes about the situation she was caught in, rather than owning up to her actions, which really just made her look worse in the public's eye and added to her growing criticism. At number 3, Nikki Tutorial's interview. One of the instances that was sort of the fuel for this Ellen is Over party fire was YouTuber Nikki Tutorial's testimony about how she was treated after she was invited on the show in January last year. During
Ah. Good game. Good game. I like it. Doo-doo.